if I tell you that this massive consumption is not just the problem, but part of the solution of a global problem? Do you believe it? That's why we're launching this new playlist called Abundance, based on this book from which we got the name of the playlist, Abundance. So watch it till the end if you want to understand all this not obvious logic. Welcome to the channel. My name is Lena Sakai. I'm Green Business Post editor, and today we're going to start our first episode of the playlist called Abundance, based on this book. I'm going to show you this book called Abundance, The Future is Better Than You Think, which is filled with scientific data that shows how the world, the resources, is much better than we think that the media says. We have to keep in mind some important data. We have to know in which stage we are in the world on the resources, and to understand the solutions we still need and the solutions that we already have. If you're looking for this kind of content, this kind of enriching repertoire, you should be part of our Alpha Member supportive community for you as a professional to improve your leadership, your repertoire, your way of seeing the future, way of seeing the world in a scientific way. We're building a supportive community for the professionals who are looking for developing their careers, developing their competences, and other benefits from our initiatives. Be part of Alpha Member. The link is in the description or in the QR code. So that's the purpose of this playlist, because we have this book. It has more than 10 years, written by Peter Diamandis here, co-founder of Singularity University, and Stephen Kotler that helped him with all that data. This book is a bestseller, New York Times bestseller, and I'll show you here a manifesto for the future that is grounded in practical solutions addressing the world's most pressing concerns, the Wall Street Journal. So this book, and you understand why it's covered in aluminum. That's our first example today. I thought it was important to make videos about this in content, because many people around in the community, they keep that mind on this scarcity resources problem, and they don't know. They haven't read this book. They don't know about the scientific data about resources, how they really are. And that's making them a bit sick in the mind, thinking the world is ending and there's no hope. They're like frustrated. So they're going to a sick in the mind path. We need to keep calm and see the real data, scientific data, and to get our conclusions with good base, and not based on what media says, because they like to post things that will call attention, will give them money. So let's keep with facts. That's the purpose of this playlist. If this is the kind of content you're looking for, subscribe to the channel now, so you receive more videos, especially from this new playlist. So follow me, the conscious ones. Let's understand what's in this book. I want to bring their thesis that they explain in the beginning of this book. They say exactly what professional, ESG professional like us, what we work for. So they explain why it's important for people in the world and to be involved on the impacts that each one of us generates, because now we know that one person can cause an impact in other communities around the world. one place, maybe tiny, can impact other places, can impact globally, depending on what that is. An example, really quick example, what happened in Japan with the tsunami, that nuclear reactor, they lost a bit of control of it, a lot of control of it, and it was very dangerous to become like in Russia, the Chernobyl case, and they fortunately got control of it. But the radiation is spread around the world through the ocean. So a small island, which is Japan, impacted the world with dangerous content, that's radiation. So that was that showed the world how we are connected, how our impacts are important, and connects us somehow. So that's how how they start the book, showing this importance. So they really are they really see this importance. They really think like what we work for as ESG professionals. But they want to bring the technology, the solutions, and real examples in history of how resources became abundant with time. Even if we live in difficulties and problems, they show in history how that happened in the past, and it happened now. But this evolution, this abundance keeps growing, keeps emerging, and how life gets better. So let's start with the example they begin in the book about the last century, and I'm going to try to bring. I was on LinkedIn, and the World Economic Forum posted a video of Harvard psychology professor, Harvard University psychology professor, and he says exactly the same examples as the authors of this book. So I'll try to put his voice here because it's the same numbers. So humanity is doing better than you think. That might think, says Harvard professor.
Life expectancy at birth is currently at an all-time high. For most of human history, life expectancy at birth was about 30. Now, globally, it's more than 70, and even higher in the developed world. We are more affluent. The share of the population living in extreme poverty is at an all-time low, even though there are far more of us than there used to be. We're safer. Rates of homicide have come down over the last couple of decades. Happiness varies from country to country, but globally, we're happier than we used to be.
So that number is the same as the book. So they use the same source of information, scientific information. So you can see that it's not they're inventing the numbers. They are really using important source of information, scientific ones. And it starts like this, and they say that even if in the past we had the World War II, 60 million people died, and there was also a pandemic. They also had this Spanish flu and killed 50 million people. There was also the same as we are having, like the hurricanes and earthquakes and tsunamis. They had it too, and even though these difficulties, they see this improvement in life. So I'll put the link for the book in the description if you want to buy it. So that's how they start the book, bringing these numbers, showing, starting with this optimism for people that does not know about this or forget about it. And that's a connection that we made in our work as business managers. Also, we have to bring comparison number between this year, last year, and even if this month was not good and we have to solve some problems that happened, it was better than last year. We have to remember that. and not forget it. So we need to remember how better our lives is compared to our parents, to our grandparents, the last century. And one information that they bring that made a total reflection in me is about some infrastructure that we have. Most people have nowadays, but poor people have nowadays, but not the rich people in the past. So they brought some three examples that in the past it did not exist, have access, and now many people and poor people have. So it's television, the telephone, and toilet with flush. Poor people have nowadays, and the rich people did not in the past. So we need to remember the condition of human life in the past, and remember what we have, and like see what you have around, and think like my grandfather, my father didn't have this when he was my age. Many things that are around us and that did not exist in the past. We need to remember and cherish what we have now and get happy because of that. So that's a healthier way of thinking, seeing the world, remembering these small and common things we have, but that were rare or did not exist for our grandparents or our parents. And now let's go to the example of today. We'll keep bringing examples of the book in each video we launch on this playlist. The example of today is this, the aluminium that we see in the book. They put it because it's the first example they bring in the book, and it's very interesting, this story. I'll try to illustrate here for you so you can imagine how it was in the past. So this is the first story they tell about the aluminium. There was in the first century, in the Tiberius Emperor in Rome, he received this goldsmith that was bringing different plates of a different metal that never saw before, very light and silver looking. It was aluminium, and this goldsmith thought he was going to receive a prize for it. He said that he discovered how to extract aluminium, but he was killed instead because Tiberius thought that new metal would drop the value of his gold and silver that he had. So this story is a reminder for us that aluminium was not always accessible to everyone. Even the Emperor of Rome did not had access to it. And not because, do not get the story about, like, of course he killed the goldsmith. Of course he's not going to have access. But it's just a reminder that no one knew how to extract the aluminium. But in the 19th century, two researchers found out how to, and because of that, and because they knew the market wanted the qualities of this new metal, they could be able to invest on this exponential extraction of aluminium, and that's how you have the aluminium in every supermarket or in your cell phone, in every electronic you see around you. You find aluminium. Cars made of aluminium, and many pieces made of aluminium, and that one that's very cheap that anyone can buy in the supermarkets, the aluminium paper used in the kitchen especially. So here, very delicious example of use of aluminium that we everybody knows and has access today. But we have to remember that it was not accessible because they didn't know how to extract aluminium, and And that story of Tiberius is an example of that. And the part of the researchers, it's when the consumption comes in, the logic of consumption. So you understand now how this logic helps us have access to new technology, have access to new resources in this scalable and massive way, like aluminium. We have to remember that for these researchers, for example, they receive investments from universities, from entrepreneurs that are in the industry, and they see this opportunity to use aluminium, for example. So they really invest on this research, and they want them to find out how to extract aluminium in a way that's abundant, in a way that's exponential for the industry. So they started having this can for keeping food with aluminium. So the things changed with the use of aluminium, many uses of aluminium, especially in the industry. You find it because there was this consumption. They knew that there was demand in the market, that people would buy it, and people bought it. They tested and it worked. People bought it. Other companies for industries for other products. So they bought it in this massive way. And so there was the possibility, because of this massive consumption, the possibility for massive production and mass access in a massive way of this new resource. And now even poor people can access aluminium, when before not even an emperor could have access to it. He didn't know how to. So could you understand this logic of consumption? Because of the consumption, it was possible to access in a massive way because of investment, these researchers, to find out how to extract aluminium in this exponential way, and then they would be able to use in the industry and extract in abundance and use it in a massive way, and then sell it in a massive way, and then the accessibility would be massive and the prices would drop. So that consumption helps all that, helps the technology creation, helps the extraction of the resource, helps to drop the prices of this resource. So that's how this massive consumption helps. It's part of the solution of the accessibility of new resources. So this book, the authors, they want us to remember that this creation of technology that we keep every day emerging, like in the news, every day we have new technology or a new discovery of a new way of doing things, new solutions for resources, for improving human life. And this technology is the base of us to reach the resource we could not before. So the aluminium was there, but we couldn't reach it. And then when we discover how to, with new technology, then we had access like in a massive way. It got really accessible for everyone, poor people, everyone. So that's what they want to focus on, and that's what we're going to focus on this playlist, bringing these real cases of study, examples of real life that you can see every day, and in each of our videos. So, and that's why consumption is not like just a problem, like the media tell us every day. We can see that it is part of the solution. It is part of why we have resources in a massive way. It's accessible, why it's accessible to everyone. And some of them, we might think like, oh, I can't buy everything. Of course not. Not everything is accessible. Not everything got the price dropped. So they are in their path, they're in their evolution of the cycle of the product, so and depend on the product. But the most important resources, the improvement of human quality of life, it happens because of this. Why poor people now have access to toilet with flush? Because it was a demand. People like the solution. Governments like the solution. They adopted it. They bought it massively, and then massively the population had access to toilet with flush. So that's consumption, a massive consumption that improving human life condition. If this content was useful somehow, like and share it with someone that might benefit from it. Remind your colleagues that the world's not ending. Share them this new way of looking the future, the resources. This was the content of today. Green Business Post: Responsible Impacts for Sustainable Communities.